Eddie Mack here, the lead voice of the CAW Champions League and the Destiny Championship Alliance. I have been asked to conduct this interview with my guest at this time. He is the leader of the new industry standard. He is a former DCA World Champion, and he is part owner of the company, at least for the moment. Malik Brown. Malik, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to conduct this interview.
You're welcome.
Um, Now, for what I understand, basically you trusted me to do the interview and not anybody else. I'm gonna get to that in a moment, but first, I know there's a lot of people that know you, but there's also a lot of people that don't. Um, let's hear about the story of Malik Brown. What's your story?
Story Malik Brown. All right. Well, let's see. I was a kid in Nashville, Tennessee, shortest guy training, and I spent almost 4 or 5 months busting my ass just to get an opportunity to be in the ring. Never happened, by the way. I spend the majority of my time as a commentator until somebody in Tennessee decides to give me an opportunity, and another guy by the name of Smokey, your DCA World Champion, gives me an opportunity to get in the ring, and it starts from there.
Fair enough, and from there you have become obviously one of the more successful men in this business. You've basically won gold everywhere you've been in your career. Um,
Yeah, but not the big one, right? Yeah, I won titles. Yeah, I've gotten titles, but, not really a world title per se until I got to DCA.
which I guess brings me to this: what brought you to the Destiny Championship Alliance?
Well, when Darius was still around and he was trying to make DCA a thing, he needed help. So the first guy that he goes up to, besides Frank Dog, is me. He comes up to me and he has, Malik, I need help. I need talent. I need help with a lot of things. And I offer my services to bring him talent that would, make the DCA grow, but also bring me along. And at the time when I first started, it was just as talent relations until about a month in, I got my contract to be an active wrestler.
And eventually, you went on to become the DCA World Champion, and as a matter of fact, the longest reigning DCA World Champion in company history. You held that championship for over one calendar year. Quite a lot of controversy during that um, year as champion.
Yeah, you would say controversy, but not because of what I said, but mostly because of how I lost it, mostly. But yeah, it's funny because when I did become world champion, everyone kind of doubted that I would hold on for that long. In fact, the moment I won it, the first thing people said was, Casey's going to get you at Revelations. You're not going to hold the belt that long. I slapped Casey Gordon in the middle of the ring in his face just to prove a point. And not only did I prove that point, but I proved it tenfold when I came out Revelation still champion.
And you held that championship, of course, until Takedown episode 50, when you lost that in quite dubious fashion, to say the least.
I lost it to the trust fund kid who is so obsessed with being champion that he would put his own lackey out in the crossfire just so he can get the belt. And you know what? It was short lived. And in some cases, I'm not even upset about it. I saw it coming. And I mean, sooner or later, he'll get his, but I'll give mine back.
Kind of interesting that he has not been seen in DCA since Revelations.
Well, would you like to show your face after you done lost your damn mind and tried to take out the very thing that brought you into this world?
Well, I could. That's a very good point. Let's be honest.
I mean, he hasn't been the same since the first time he ever met me. He's been out of control, lost his mind, and then he almost ended his father's life in the middle of the ring. I don't think people get that. He almost ended his father's life. And, yeah, of course I wouldn't want to show my face. I wouldn't want to show my face either if I did half the shit he did.
I wouldn't either. if I'm being honest. Let's talk about your group, the new industry standard. It is quite the collection of talent that you have brought together. How did it come about? First of all.
Well, first, let me just clear something up because a lot of people love to call me the leader. There is no leader. There are leaders, to say the least. It's me, Smokey, and Zach Starr and Danny. We are the collective of that. We are more of a family than a group. But how it formed was simply this. After D-Wall left, there was word going around of why D-Wall was gone, and people wanted to know why he was gone. Unfortunately, hey, I knew why he was gone. I knew why he wasn't coming back.
I'm going to get to that in a minute, but go on.
Yeah, I knew why he was coming. I knew why he was gone, and I mean, the board literally pulled me, Lucinda, in and told us what was going on. Since I had a share of the company, they told me, and they said, I want you to keep this to yourself. Let us handle this. And you know what I did? I listened to them. I didn't say a damn thing. That didn't help because now everybody in the back thought knew I was hiding something. They knew that I was hiding something, and I wouldn't say. I kept ignorant and kept to myself and let the board handle whatever the hell they want to do and let D-Wall come back whenever the hell he wants to come back. That was the idea. And then it got brought up into the light when Atlas decided to call me out. When he wholeheartedly said in front of God and all of his children, Malik Brown, Zach Starr, and Smokey are trying to keep D-Wall away from this business and make this their own and try to control something that D-Wall created. And that was an insult. That was a slap to the face. And the only reason Atlas ever said that was because Smokey literally asked the question, where's the loyalty? Because, contrary to probably what people forget, because they're so blinded and jaded by hatred, this was a man who was ran over by a fucking car by Casey goddamn Gordon. He was ran over out of action. Yet the fuck again. Out of action.
He was out for a long time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was out for 7 months, if not longer than that. And no one fucking bothered to pay attention or care. Except me. No one bothered. And he questioned that. He comes back kicking ass and he questions, where's the loyalty? I was out of action, ran over by a car, and you know what happens? He gets mocked for it. So yeah, that pissed me off. But it pissed me off even more that I got brought into something I didn't want to be a part of. I got brought into a situation where I didn't want to be involved in it. I didn't want to be any part of it. And you know what? They pulled me into it. And so I aired grievances. I spoke out. I said what was on my mind. And yeah, maybe a lot of people didn't like it. I know you didn't like it. But that was how I felt. And then over time, people started to think that, oh, well, maybe there's something going on. Zach Starr, Smokey, and Malik Brown are in cahoots when in actuality we weren't. For a while we weren't. Until they start pushing it more and more. Until you start hearing more and more like, oh, Smokey, Zach, and Malik got a thing going on. They're in cahoots.
There's a conspiracy
And
or
sometimes
something happening.
exactly. And so when you hear it so much, two things you have to do: either you prove them wrong and not let not that be the case, or
You prove
you
them
give
right.
them something to be, or you give them something to really be scared of. You let them have it. And that's what I did.
Now, I'm gonna ask you something, and I want this to be on. I want this to be on the record. You are saying here today that there is absolutely no conspiracy involving you, Zach Starr, Smokey, and Danny Gibbons to keep D Wall out of the Destiny Championship lines. There's no conspiracy on your part. Is that
I
correct?
said with I said with Hakeem that there was no conspiracy. Fuck. The biggest reason we are even here, yeah, I may say that I'm going to burn this company to the ground, but I'm doing this shit to bring his ass back because I'm, for one, am so goddamn tired of hearing everybody say, oh, I'm trying to keep D-Wall away or anything like that. Yeah. I just want him back. And if I got to threaten, if I got to tear down some things, if I got to go to extreme measures just to bring this man back, by all means, I will do it. Even if I had to come up to your show, look him in the goddamn eye with a look of pure fucking anger from God himself just so he can get the idea of what I will and can do, just so he can get back, I will do it. I've never made it my intention that I want D-Wall out. Half the time, I'm just playing to what people want to believe. People want to believe I don't want D-Wall here. People want to believe that I'm trying to destroy something. People want to believe that I want to take D-Wall's baby and rape it in front of them. But the question is, do I really want to? And the answer, nah. But I will if I have to.
You said that you know why D Wall is not with the Destiny Championship Alliance at the moment. If you're allowed to say why, can you tell us why?
Revelation's last rites.
I'm guessing all the negative
It
reactions
burned him.
for.
It burned him. It burned him on both ends.
I'm guessing like all the negative reaction from the fans, from the locker room.
Negative reaction from the fans, the boys in the back, the decisions that were changed at the last minute that were questionable to say the least. Just a whole lot of stuff that was him misunderstanding or just straight up saying fuck it on, and it ended up just being a train wreck because of it. And it burned him, and he went away. And because of that, he ain't here no more. And he hasn't been back for 2 damn seasons.
Was he pushed, or did he leave, or was it his decision? Because there are quite a few people that are saying he was more or less pushed out the door, and he didn't want to
No,
go.
no, he left. He left and didn't answer a single fucking call from no one.
Not even you.
Not even me.
Wow.
He didn't. His girlfriend called him. He didn't respond back. I called him. He didn't respond back. I know everybody else called him. He didn't get no response.
I called him. I didn't get a response. So yeah. All right, let's talk about more recent matters. DCA Survival. JC
All
Wolfe.
right.
JC Wolfe wins the DCA World Title in a triple threat match. He wins it from Zach
He
Starr,
did.
Penny Zach Stone. But some would say you abused your power and basically cost JC the title a few minutes later.
I did. I'm not going to deny that.
You have no regrets in doing that.
No. I mean, if he's going to be willing to get in my business because he wants to call me out every waking moment, and I ignore that, right? Because I know he's been calling me out, but I ignore it because I have bigger things to worry about. But when you come into something, but when you physically go into my business, when you go into something that I care about, maybe it wasn't a world title match against Chris Knight, but it was fucking bragging rights. I wanted to say I was the guy that proved Chris Knight all the fuck wrong, and I beat him. Because even though he beat me, I still stood up. He couldn't deal the final blow. I wanted to do that. I wanted to say that Chris Knight could not put the final blow on me, and I ended him right there in the middle of the ring. JC gets in my business, cost me what I felt was a part of me. So I took his life. I took the very thing he wanted. Yeah, I abused my power. I don't give a shit that I did. Because you know what, JC, he wants to play with the big boys. Sometimes when you play with the big dogs, you're gonna get bit hard. Watch what you do. Karma has a very funny way of biting you back in the ass, and it bit him back. In fact, he should have saw this coming. He should have saw this coming a mile away, because the moment you go after somebody, you should expect some repercussions out of it, right?
Sure.
And that's what happened. He cost me my match against Chris Knight. He cost me something. I cost him something. And everybody around here can talk about how, he won it fair and square. Yeah, and that's supposed to mean what to me? If he was any kind of fucking man, if he was any kind of champion that he claims he is, if he's the so-called past, present, and fucking future, you know what he could have did? Fought his ass out of it and walked out the champion. If he was any half of a man that he claims he is, he should still be world champion right now, but he's not. You're going to talk a big game, back your shit up. And that's all JC Wolfe is, talk. And Survival proved that.
I don't get me wrong. I totally understand your point of view. I don't expect you to be empathetic. I don't expect you to be sympathetic. But do you realize even a little bit the irony in what you did? You cost JC Wolfe the world title the same way 1 year earlier you lost the world title.
Yeah, I do. I mean, JC likes to think he's like me a lot, so let him go through my pain.
Which I guess brings me to Vendetta. Now, before I get to my question, we should point this out. I know a lot of people know, but also a lot of people don't. There was a time that you and I didn't get along. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
I hated you for a bit.
let's be honest. A lot of people did, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people still do. And you've had a lot of things to say about the league that that I'm behind, the CAW Champions League, which I guess is what happened at Vendetta all the more shocking. Right after
I figured since. I'll go ahead.
right after JC Wolfe beats Zach Stone, you jump the rail and you deliver a Jaguar knee to JC. in a
Yeah.
yeah in a CCL ring?
Well, since no one signed me, I figured I'd bring the fight to him. Since, he wants to call me out so bad, right? Because he just hates everything about me. And you know what? I don't take kindly to guys, especially guys like JC, who will say they're going to kill me when they don't have that in them. So I tested him. I came there and I drove my knee right to his face in the sense of asking, what is he going to do? And yeah, I showed up on a CCL ring because why the hell not? I mean, why not go to the place that, like, at least a few other people have been saying, Malik Brown would be a really good, would fit a really good role there. He would really be something there. It never happened. But I figured, why the hell not? You probably won't see me in a CCL ring, not because I don't want to. I know there's some people there that don't want me there.
I personally would. I guess you answered my next question for me. Was what happened at Vendetta? Is that the? Are we gonna see you in a CCL ring again? Are you gonna face him in a match? Are you gonna enjoy the roster? Was it a one-time deal?
So far, it was a one-time thing. Not a lot of people want me there. I mean, because if I go through that door, there's a target on my back already.
Oh, sure.
Because I mean, let's be real. I spent 1 year where I trashed every single person that ever was part of CCL because I didn't see them as champions. I saw them as guys that played hot potato with belts. I saw them as guys that got recognized by doing absolutely nothing. They got recognized by a name. They didn't get recognized by talent or anything alone. That was how I felt because I spent 8 years, Eddie, 8 years going from place to place, doing matches with nothing more than gas money and a fucking handshake, and I don't get recognized for that. And I keep doing it over and over again. I go places that die in after a month. I go places that promise me the fucking world, and I don't even get one speck of dirt out of it. But I have to be the one to put this guy over that's supposed to be the next big thing, and he doesn't even last a week to be anything. So, yeah. That was my anger about CCL. Do I want to be back in CCL? Oh, yeah, I do, because I love to prove a point. I would totally love to be there at CCL and beat every single person that claimed to be a champion. I would love to go there and just raise hell. That'd be great. Question is CCL management going to let me? Are they really ready for that?
I guess time will tell. I mean, all I can do is be a bug in their ear, if you will. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and be on record and say it. I'm gonna do everything in my power to get a contract in your hand, and where it goes from there is up to you. I mean, that's all I can do.
All right.
I'm gonna get you out of here on this. Is there anything that you would like to say to your fans, to your detractors? I mean, what's next from Malik Brown?
Well, I guess you just have to tune in, right? For my fans, for the people that actually still care about me, whether I do something they don't like or they do like. Thank you. You understand. For those detractors, for everybody else out there, you know who you are. I hope you still live with that one-track ideal that you have, because it's all you're ever going to have. You can tell me that I'm wrong for what I'm doing. You can tell me everything under the sun, but until you are in the situation I'm in, you won't fucking understand a goddamn thing. So you can keep on talking. I'm Malik motherfucking Brown. I am the goddamn mayor of the Violence Party. That young, loud kid, the longest reigning DCA World Heavyweight Champion, and there's nothing that can take that away from me.
Well, Malik, I'm glad you trusted me to do this interview because I know a lot of those. I know you have a lot of detractors, and you didn't want them to do this interview with you because you didn't feel you would get you would get a fair shake, and I hope at least I gave you a fair shake here, right?
More than what Zahai would give me.
Fair enough. Malik, many thanks, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.